Hey everybody, this is Blake from the Splintering.com, and I know it's been a while since I said I was going to do this again, but I'm going to highlight a few more of these art cards that I've been doing. I have decided to give some of them away in certain capacities. One of them I've already given away, this one here on Patrick's live stream. That's Patrick Thomas Parnell's live stream that he does every Saturday. So this one's already spoken for. And I guess we'll just start with this one, since I'm just going to jump right into it. So this is the main character from Patrick's Last of the Seekers book. So this one is one that took me quite a while, a lot longer than maybe it should have, to get all the lines and everything quite right. But fortunately, you don't see a lot of those pencil lines underlying it now that it's been colored and everything. When it was still black and white, it still had a lot of those errant lines underneath it. But anyway, I think it turned out pretty well. I'm happy with the pose and all that. The only thing that the background is supposed to be sort of space with galaxies and things like that. So you've got the different colors and stars. And I did that by, it's still black pencil, but I pushed and dented the card a little bit to try and make the stars, if I remember right. And I think that worked okay. It didn't work out quite as cleanly as I wanted it to. But I'm still very happy with this one. I'm happy with the way it turned out. I'm happy with the coloring. Again, there's certain times when I really feel like this character's color choices that make him up really pop. And I think this one turned out pretty well for that, with the purples and the greens and stuff. There are times when I'm not always convinced, but this one I think does look good. Now this one, I don't actually know the character's name. That's why on the back it just says Last of the Seekers. Although recently I found out that that actually may not be his title, but oh well. That's how it's going to go. So he's from the book Last of the Seekers, and whatever this character's name actually is, I suppose that's what this character is. But again, this one's spoken for, so I'm going to be sending this one out sometime soon, mailing that off. So I'll go ahead and move on to the other one that I offered up, and they had the chance to get either that or this one, which is Ultra Star. And the winner of the card decided to go with the Seeker, or with whoever this is. But yeah, this is a take on Ultra Star. This one, I'm happy with the pose. I'm happy with a lot of it. There's a couple of things. It almost looks like he's breaking through the card, which isn't how it's intended. It's supposed to be a perspective shot, and I couldn't find a way to make his bottom legs show in a way that makes sense. He's coming up, and so you wouldn't actually see his legs. So I mean, I feel like this is accurate, but it still seems odd having his waist down there. So maybe if I had made that waist a little bit more narrow, so maybe if the perspective was a little bit more extreme down to the base, it would have made a little bit more sense. But this one, when I first drew, I wasn't quite as happy with, but I think it really came to life when I put this the stippling around the edges to make to highlight the character itself. I think that really turned out well. And like I said, I almost thought about coloring his face in with the tan, but I really like just the gray and the yellow along with the black, is why I left it. So there's no shading on the star. There's no color on his face. There's just the yellows and then the grays to kind of highlight the blacks here and the silver. So I'm still pretty happy with this one. Forehead's a little bit big, even for this perspective. It's kind of got, well, I myself have a big forehead, but I know a lot of people feel like Michael Bancroft has the largest forehead in the indie comics community. So we'll say it's a Bancroft-inspired forehead, right? But yeah, so this is Ultra Star. I probably will try to find another time to maybe give this one away. Again, these are all signed on the back. I don't typically sign them on the front. I don't know. I just like them. I think they look cleaner this way. But so that's that one. Cape, I think, turned out looking okay with the colors and everything. And again, these are all done with pencil as far as the colors are concerned. There's no marker or anything. Not that I could think of it, but definitely this one is just your typical pencils, Crayola mostly. Nothing fancy, nothing expensive. I don't have anything super expensive. But so, yep, Ultra Star And then last one we'll do today, since it's sort of, kind of the same vein, and that it's an indie comics property, is this Cyberfrog one here. But of course, it's Cyberfrog in the eye of this Vyzpzz villain. So really, you look at it, it seems like a Vyzpzz card, and it is. You can have the eyes and everything, I think, turned out really well. I think this card turned out good. Cyberfrog there, he's meant to be a reflection. And maybe that doesn't quite look right as a reflection. Maybe it should be a little bit hazier. And I wanted it to look like he was getting ready to blast this Vyzpzz to smithereens or whatever with his cannon. That's why that area right there is brighter and sort of yellowish. But I'm not 100% sure that came through with how this was done. Again, maybe it would have been better to have the frog himself be a little bit hazier and have that be a little bit brighter in retrospect. But I'm not sure that there's really a way to fix it at this point without doing so, you know, like digitally or something. So, but overall, I'm still pretty happy with it. I'm happy with the way it's framed, and I'm happy with the Vyzpzz itself, particularly, because I think the little mandibles there turned out looking pretty well. And again, I'm happy with the eyes and the shading and everything and all the different color values and everything behind it all. The background, even though there's not much of it, see here and here, that's supposed to evoke sort of that honeycomb color that's behind so many of the backgrounds in the Blood Honey book and the Cyberfrog books that Ethan Van Sciver does. This isn't that complicated. I'm trying to remember exactly how I did it. I don't remember. But that's what that is meant to be, even though there's not very much of it. I think the antenna turned out pretty well. Yeah, so I'm happy with this one. And at some point, maybe I'll give this one away too. Again, I'm kind of at a point where I've got enough of these things that, you know, if I was artist #1 superstar, I'm sure I'd be able to sell them. At the moment, I don't know that I am. I'm certainly not a name one way or the other, and I've got a lot of work to do, I think, to really up my game on these things. But I'm still happy with that one right there. So those are the cards I've got for now that I wanted to highlight. And like I said before, the Seekers card is already spoken for, and it will be sent out sometime this week or earlier. Well, it can't be earlier than this week, can it? Anyway, it is early in the day that I'm recording this, so I'm going to stop rambling about these cards. But I do appreciate any of you who watched. If you liked what you saw or you have any comments, I'm definitely open to feedback. So anything that you leave in the comments, I will take a look at and take that to heart. Otherwise, you can find a whole bunch of other comic-related reviews and news and things like that at thesplintering.com. We also do games and movies from time to time, so you'll find some fun stuff there. That is our website that does not run with any paid advertising, so all I really ask of you guys is to take a look, enjoy it, share it with your friends. So do that. Follow us on social media. That would be thesplintering.com, and at social media it's going to be at thesplintering everywhere else except on Twitter, where it's going to be _splintering. And that's it. I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. Happy trails.